Okay, on page 12, la página 12, we are going to be looking at la hora. ¿Qué es la hora? Time, okay? It literally means the hour, okay? So in your cuadernos, write down la hora being the hour or the time, okay? La hora. So that's the first new word, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, la hora. Okay, so in Spanish, how you say the time is actually very simple. These are all words that we already know. If you're going to say it's 1 o'clock, you just say es la una. Okay, es la una. So write that one down. Es la una. It's 1 o'clock. Es la una. Everyone should have es la una written down in your cuadernos. All right, and then if you're going to say it's 2 o'clock, it's a little different. You're going to say son las dos. Okay? Son las dos. And that means it's 2 o'clock. Son las dos. So let's pause for a second and look at the difference between these two, okay? So the first one, es la una. Why would you have es for es la una and then son for son las dos? Any ideas? Marcos? No? Oh, what?
1 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Okay, that's a good thought, but that's not why, and we'll talk about AM and PM here in a little bit though. Okay, Kira?
1 is singular and all the other numbers are plural.
Exacto. Okay? Uno is just 1. Okay, it's singular. Dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, all of those are plural, right? Just like we talked about with what other lesson? Do you remember? Matemáticas. Muy bien. When we talked about it with matemáticas, the same concept. When you're talking about, like, for instance, we said, dos y dos son cuatro.
Oh, yeah.
But then when we said, cuatro menos tres es uno. Okay? You guys remember that? So going back to that same concept. If we're talking about just one thing, it's es. If it's talking about multiples, it's son. Okay, so that's the first thing to point out. So however you want to indicate that in your notes, you need to make sure that you remember that whenever it's una, it's just es. Whenever it's dos, tres, cuatro, anything more, then it's son. All right, so that's the first thing I want to point out. The second thing is looking at this word here. What's going on? Why do we have es la una and son las dos? Carlos?
Because dos is more than 1, so it adds an S to the law.
Same thing, right? One's talking about singular and one's talking about plural. Okay? So the la is just talking about 1, so it's singular. Las is talking about 2 or more, so it's plural. Okay? So es la una is just 1, son las dos is 2, or son las tres is 3, or whatever. Okay? That makes sense, right? So I wanted to really point that out though, because that's going to trip up a lot of people if you don't know. So typically when you're giving the time, you're going to say son las, but when it's 1, you just say es la. Okay, moving on. Whenever you have something that's not like an even, like it's 1 o'clock or it's 2 o'clock, then you've got to get fancy, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to get fancy, okay? All right, so the way you would do that, if you wanted to say let's say it's 8:15, okay? Or 8:15. The way you're gonna do that is, how would you say it's 8? How would you say that? Son las ocho. Muy bien, so write that part down. Son las ocho. So that's the first part for it's 8 o'clock. And then that next part for 15, you don't say quince. On all the other ones, other than like 8:15 and 8:30, you're gonna use like whatever it is. Like it's 8, if you said it's 8:12, you'd say son las 8:12, okay? So that would be 8:12. But whenever you say 15 and 30, I'm gonna give you the vocab words for that. So it's y cuarto, okay? Y cuarto. So that's 8:15. The y cuarto part is the 15. Now it doesn't literally mean 15 because we know the quince means 15. Cuarto literally means a quarter because 15 is a quarter of an hour. Do you know what I mean by a quarter?
Mm-hmm.
So if you divide the clock into 4s, 1/4, okay? You're looking at me strangely, Raphael. If you divide your clock into 4 parts, 1/4 of that is un cuarto, okay? Un cuarto. So it equals a quarter. So cuarto literally means quarter. So make sure that you have that written on your paper because we're going to use that in some other context other than time at some point, okay? So a quarter is un cuarto. Okay, and then if I wanted to say it's 8:30, you're going to say the same things for 8. So what do I say? Son las ocho. So what I'm going to do is just do that, okay? And then 30 is y media. Y media. So that's 8:30. Okay? Y media. And media kind of looks like the word medium, doesn't it? Media is it's half. Okay? Media means half. Medium is kind of half large, half small, right in the middle. Okay? Medium. So media, half. So if I said, I want un media de un pizza, what do I want half of? Pizza, okay? Or what if I want media de una hamburguesa? Half a hamburger, okay? Everyone in here is like, no, I want the whole thing. Okay, Marcos.
So like an un pounder.
Un quarter pounder, yes. Okay, that would be like una hamburguesa de cuarto, okay? Like or a quarter of a hamburger. Okay, all right, so now we know how to do cuarto, we know how to do media. All the other ones, for the most part, are just like, so if I wanted to say 8:20, how do you think I would say 8:20? Son las 8:20. Good. Y 20. Okay, so that would be 8:20. Now, let me show you something kind of tricky. Yeah, it's gonna get weird. Okay, so something kind of tricky. Just like we say in English, like it's 10 till 2, okay? Or it's 10 till 8, or it's 10 till 9, or whatever. They use the same thing, you can do the same thing in Espanol using the word minus. And how do we say minus? Menos, okay? So if I want to say, let's say it's 9:50, which would be 10 till 10, right? I would say, how would I say it's 10 o'clock? Son las 10. And then how would I say minus 10? Menos 10. Muy bien. Son las 10 menos 10. So that's how you'd say it's 9:50 or 10 till 10. Okay? You could also write this as it's 9:50. So let's go ahead and try that. How would you say it's 9:50? Son las 9:50. Muy bien. 50. 50. Okay? And a lot of times, actually, you'll see that the E isn't in there, so that's something, it's somewhat optional, like whenever you have the larger numbers, okay? You'll usually hear son las 9:50. You won't hear that E in there, okay? You do have to have it for y cuarto, y media, Okay? Okay, so that's what this means, opcional. Okay, so let me see. Let me give you a tricky one. You guys ready for this?
No.
Not ready for
Yeah.
this? Okay, everybody got media down, right? I can erase this. Okay, so a tricky one would be, how would I say this? Would I say it's 150?
Oh,
You got this, Mateo?
Son las 2 menos 10.
Son las 2 menos 10. Muy bien. And then what's the other way to say it?
Oh.
All right, Kira?
es la 1:50.
Es la 1:50. Perfecto, muy bien. Okay? Why was that tricky?
Because it's
One.
It's not son las.
Yeah, it's not son la, it's es la. And up here it is son las dos.
'Cause we're-
You
yeah.
see what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, I've got to remember, kind of switch your brain to going from 2 to 1. All right? You guys handled that like pros. Awesome. Okay, let me see if there's anything. Oh, okay, when you are asking at what time something is, there's a little word that I don't remember if we put it on our little words list or not, so I'm going to go ahead and add it right now. It's a little word that means at or to. Did we talk about this yet?
No. It's
Okay.
ah.
Okay? So make sure you write write the word means at, or sometimes it also means to. Okay? So I'm gonna make some more space here. Does everyone have this? See? Okay, muy bien. So if I'm saying, at what time do you have like Spanish class, okay? Or what time is Spanish class? What I'm gonna do is just put that little word in front of it, okay? A qué hora es? And then whatever you're asking, okay? So a qué hora es means at what time or hour is ... Okay? So that's super helpful to know if you're wanting to know what time something is in particular. Okay? ¿A qué hora es la clase de español? Or ¿a qué hora es la do you guys remember what cinema is? Cinema. Okay. So, or ¿a qué hora es la clase de matemáticas? Okay? So all of those would just be ¿a qué hora es? At what time is? Now what if I just wanted to say, what time is it?
Just say AK for. Oh.
¿Qué hora es? Okay? What time is it? It's just ¿qué hora es? That's it. Okay, any preguntas on any of these things? Okay, let's practice them now. And Elena, gracias.